This video will change the way you think about your life. It did for mine. So I've been recently thinking about this concept of what my purpose is in life. Welcome to my channel. Thank you for being here. My name is Luc Nicolas Verdiktien, and with this channel, Purpose Driven, I help people find their purpose and build their business. So let's get started. The concept of finding your purpose, your why in life, is one of the most, in my eyes, satisfying things you could be investing your time in. And today in this video, I want to dive deep into the concept and the possible areas in your life where you can find your purpose. So I believe everyone has a very unique form of intelligence, a very unique and authentic combination of insights, natural talents, skills, experience, and knowledge. And if you learn how to combine those unique aspects that only you have and no one else will ever have, you will be able to build something, to turn your purpose, your passion, your uniqueness into a business. So let's start off by drawing this model. So it starts with you. Okay, so you are in the middle, and okay, and you have various forms of intelligence. You could call them intelligence. You could call them natural talents, depending on how you want to look at it, right? So you start off with asking yourself this question: what am I naturally good at? What was I good at when I was a kid, when I was still at school, when I was still uninfluenced by what people thought of me, what I learned from school, from friends, from parents, from teachers? What did I love to do? Did I love, for example, let's say you loved drawing, right? It could be that perhaps you loved making art, you loved making pottery, you loved building something, you loved drawing, you loved coloring. These are all indicators that you might be facing towards a visual approach or visual intelligence in what you do, right? So this could be, I call it visual. So you're very much visually inclined. You love to make things visual. So the second approach that you could be, or the second intelligence that you could have, would be, for example, that you are very much towards languages. You're linguistic. Okay? So you're linguistic. You love finding the right words. You love speaking to your expression on how on what you're trying to mean. So this is very linguistic. This is very much for people that also love, for example, languages, which is a form of communication, right? Then we have musical. So musical, I think I do not have to explain what musical means, but you especially love sounds, you love instruments, you love the way music makes you feel, the way you can express your emotions. Then we have mathematical. So we have logical, mathematical. And what that is basically you are very much looking at the mathematics behind everything that you do. And I also want to mention here is that, for example, music has a very strong mathematical component in it. So it's never ever that you are only in one part or in two parts. It could be that you perhaps encompass visual, linguistic, and musical, or musical and mathematical. So you could be very mathematical, but at the same time very musical. So this is the beauty of it, that the combinations is infinite. The quantity of combinations that you can actually build out of this is actually infinite. Then we have another component, which is being interpersonal. Interpersonal, okay, is sensing people's feelings and motives. So sensing people's feelings and emotions, okay? So being very, very very drawn towards helping other people with the feelings that they have, with perhaps mental problems that they have, right? And then we have the intrapersonal. So it sounds like the same as interpersonal, but it is intra versus inter. So we have intrapersonal is very much understanding yourself, what you feel, and what you want. So it's very much towards, for example, you love writing, putting on a piece of paper what your actual thoughts are, what your actual feelings are, your ideas, your concepts. That's the interpersonal intelligence or component. And then we have the body or kinesthetic component, and that is being sportive. You love sporting, you love helping people become fit, you coordinate your mind with your body, right? So that's also a possible intelligence that you could be drawn towards or be naturally good at. Okay, then we have the last two, which are being a naturalist. So you understand and you love working with nature. Okay, so you love, for example, cultivating food. You love, for example, growing plants in your garden. You love everything that has to do with nature. You love to look at insects. You love to inspect everything that has to do with the natural form of being. Then we have existential. We have the existential, and existential is someone who asks very deep questions such as, why do we live? Perhaps, why do we have to die? What is the sense of life? Could be also very spiritual. So it could be very spiritual, could be focused very much on the philosophical questions that you might have in life. Okay, so we have had a look at the intelligence model. I think this model is something that you can benefit greatly from, and it will change the way you will look at your life and at the way perhaps you're currently doing things. If you ask yourself these questions, ask yourself per element, per intelligence, what you feel or what you believe that coincides with who you are. Are you a visual person? Perhaps do you love languages? Do you love the word itself, the way words and phrases and sentences are constructed? Do you love music, composition? Do you love mathematics? Do you love formulas? Are you interpersonal? Do you love to communicate with people and find perhaps the problems that they're facing? Are you interpersonal by expressing your ideas, by writing books, blogs, articles? Are you perhaps focused on a body kinesthetic approach? Do you love sporting or teaching others how to sport? Are you naturalist? Do you love nature itself, the way it works, growing plants? Or are you an existential mind? Are you someone that asks frequent deep questions about their existence, about the meaning of life, about how does God work in our lives? How do we grow as persons? How do we become intelligent? How do we grow as a person? These are all questions you should be asking yourself, could be asking yourself if you're trying to find out if you're existential. And like I mentioned before in the video, we could also be a combination of, for example, visual, naturalist, and being very sportive. So it doesn't mean that you are necessarily you should place yourself in one box. No, that shouldn't be the case. I don't believe that anyone is ever just one in one frame. I believe everyone is a combination, a unique combination of different frames. So next time you find yourself in doubt what your life's purpose is, start by looking at this model. Take several weeks or several months to ask yourself and to come back at this model and look at the facts. Look at what you're naturally inclined to be helping others people with. What are you naturally inclined to be serving other people with regards to all of these forms of intelligences? So I really hope that you found this video valuable. I have another video which is very focused on finding your purpose and building a business based on that purpose, or based on the purpose that you have found in this model. And I have a series about how to build a business from scratch. So you have to turn your purpose into a business in order to be able to have and remain with a level of creativity. And of course, I have another video, you can have a look it up, which is about working in a business or working a job, the difference and the benefits and disadvantages of both. So have a look. Again, thank you for your time, and I'll see you in the next one.